Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the
body punching?
I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
BoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
We the champs, and we back with another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. This is the rumor mill, but slightly twisted because we want to bring you facts. Normally on the rumor mill, we talk about rumors, news, and headlines. And Mikey Garcia has made some news and headlines, and some of the things he said has been damn right shocking that some might call a rumor. So we're going to ask him. We're going to find out these facts about, does he really want to face Keith Thurman? Who in this 135-pound division does he really want to get in there with? Is it Linares, Terry Flanagan? Is it moving up to 140 for Terence Crawford? What about staying in his own division to take on Robert Easter Jr.? So many other names. There's been mentions of Gamboa. I don't know. But let me get out to the Golden State.
Diaz production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rope into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, and Mikey Garcia, like you said, Ness, is making headlines and news all over the boxing world. It seems that no opponent from 130 to 147 is being able to avoid having his name in the headline with Mikey Garcia there as well. It's just interesting. I don't think anyone doubts Mikey Garcia's willingness to face any of these guys. I think we just want to know what's next, because there's a lot of options for a guy like Mikey Garcia. He has a belt. 135 is deep. You have guys like Lomachenko and Gamboa at 130. You have guys at 140 like Crawford. You have guys at 147 like Thurman. Everyone seems to be on the radar and on the target board for Mikey Garcia. I want to find out what's next.
I'll tell you what's next, brother. It's the Longhorn State, right?
It's me, Mario.
Well, I would agree absolutely with y'all. There is a lot of speculation out there. However, this is what I enjoy about Mikey, and this is what I'm excited about talking with him. Mikey's very candid. He is very articulate. He is one of the more intelligent and eloquent speakers in the fight game. And I'm very curious to get his take on a lot of subjects in the sport of boxing right now. You know, Canelo Chavez. I'm sure he's got a lot of opinions on a lot of different things. And the fact that he's very well spoken and very intelligent, I'm sure we're going to get some great stuff out of him.
Definitely, man. What we need to ask ourselves and present to our listeners is that Mikey has options, like Matt said, the hipster, but which one is the most possible option, right? Like, Robert Easter is the only one that seems to be available. Flanagan is in a fight with Petrov. Producer, what's the date on that? Linares just got out of a tough unanimous decision win over Anthony Carolla. So there you go. He's probably out of the picture at the moment. We need to find out with Mikey, is he just going to hang around and wait for one of these bigger fights? When is he trying to get back in the ring? That's my question to my panelists. What's your guess on that? When does he want to get back? Because Crawford has Felix Diaz, Flanagan with Petrov. Like I said, everyone's tied up except Easter, and Easter doesn't seem to be the big name that he wants. He also called out Thurman, which is something we need to speak to him about. He called out Keith one time, Thurman, at 147. Now, he is available. How serious is he about that? Is he just calling him out in the video, or did he really place a call to Al Heyman?
And very quickly, the Terry Flanagan-Peter Petrov fight, I believe, is next week on April 8th. It might be 2 weeks from now. I'd rough on the
That
date.
sounds about right, somewhere around then. Look, as far as what's next, I hate playing that game with fighters like Mikey who have been somewhat sporadic and chaotic in their decision making. You know, this is a guy who was fairly consistent and then took a huge layoff for promotional reasons, of course, and that's, you know, his prerogative. That said, I don't know what's next, but I think what should be next is him making a definitive statement as quickly as possible. I'd rather him wait 4 or 5 months to get a great fight than to fight immediately against, you know, someone that might not make as many headlines. He has a title, so you know, I don't really care if he stays I guess true to the belt and is, like, you know, defending it and taking his mandatories and all that. Like, that does not interest me. He is now entered the realm of mega fights, and he can get them, and it can make him a superstar, and that's what's more important than, you know, unifications. However, the people that he could unify with are some of the best fights, so, you know, there you go.
Well, we will be having Mikey Garcia on this show in about 2 minutes. Our producer will be connecting him. We'll be speaking to him live from the West Coast, and we'll have all these questions answered. I want to encourage everyone in the chat, if you're there, drop your questions there. Maybe yours will get asked to the WBC champion of the world, Mikey Garcia. And while you're there in the chat, or if you're watching us in the future, present, or past, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for the Boxing Voice, bringing you world champion, elite level, pound for pound interviews. Guys, the names mentioned, I mean, because everyone is busy, I know that Gamboa is said to be coming back on the Canelo undercard. So if not Easter, which isn't a sexy fight.
Get out of here. That's a sexy fight. Get out of here. Come on.
That's a sexy ass fight.
For me, I'm more interested in Mikey going up to Thurman. I like that.
Oh man, that's
Crawford? No.
Yo, listen, Robert Easter is heads down, ass up sexy. All right. I don't care what you say. That's a sexy ass fight. It might not be the most financially lucrative for Mikey. If that's more what you're trying to say, okay, fine. I agree. But no, man.
What could happen in the ring? That fight.
Oh, that's got potential fight of the year written on it.
I need to find out. You know, people are saying that Mikey Crawford or Mikey Thurman too much for Mikey. He's the one putting himself in these headlines. So, you know, I remember when he first started dealing with Al Heyman, he was saying the Terry Flanagan thing a lot. I don't know. That's kind of died down. Robert Easter's in the stable, Matt. You're saying that's a sexy fight. Myra's saying sexy fight. So why isn't that being pumped up? Why is he talking Thurman? Why is he talking Crawford? Why is he talking
Mario stated it perfectly. It's not the most lucrative fight. That is the reason. And like Mario said earlier, Mikey's entered the realm of mega fights, super fights, those type of fights. And Robert Easter Jr. isn't as sexy as a Terence Crawford super fight. Or even a Linares. I think Linares is just more proven in the division at this point. You know, even you can even argue that Lomachenko coming up would be a sexier fight.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's hard because, you know, this is like a show where Enrique would have been great on. I really would love to hear Enrique's take. Like, is Robert Easter worth, you know, that to him? Is this Linares make as much sense? Like, all these type of fights they get me so excited, and I would be all over them. But do they have the commercial appeal that, you know, the Thurmans have? Obviously not, but how big is that gap? You know, how big is it to a casual fan?
I want to know, when's this guy going to fight? That's what I want to know. I'm glad we got him on, or we're going to get him on. That's what I'm interested to know.
So it's more important to you for him to stay busy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's
already, Mario.
That's a good point. Very good point.
January 28th. You know, time waits for no man. And that's why he's trying to dare to be great and calling out the names or speaking about of these names, because he wants to make a mark in a short amount of time. And I respect that.
I agree. But I would also like to talk to him about some of the fans who were saying it was a publicity stunt and stuff like that. You know, get his take on that.
Oh, absolutely. Especially the Thurman thing, because again, it seems to me that's Al Heyman. Why not get it? Looks like we got Matt. Matt, you there?
Nestor Gibbs.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are here with Mikey Garcia.
Mikey,
Hello, guys.
how are you, brother? I just want to
Yeah.
say thank you, man. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, taking out the time to allow us to interview you and talk to you a little bit here. I got my co-host Mario Munguia all the way in Texas. You've already met Matthew Hunter all the way in California with you, and I'm over here in the East Coast, tri-state area. My first question obviously is
always a pleasure being on the show.
thank you. My first question obviously is the Keith Thurman thing. I mean, you really have me so intrigued with this Thurman thing. How serious is Mikey Garcia when he says that he wants to challenge Keith one-time Thurman at 147 pounds?
Look, if that was actually offered on a piece of paper and it was actually a serious offer, I'd actually really seriously consider taking it. But that's not what the immediate plans are for me right now. My goals are set at 135, and become, unified champion at 135 and do a lot of things. But, you got a guy with a camera and asking you, about a certain fight, hell yeah, I'd take the fight, why not? And like I said, if it was actually a serious offer, I'd seriously consider it. And if it made sense, I'd take it.
So Mikey, Mario Munguia here. I feel like that answer was you saying that you were kind of put on the spot. So that wasn't you trying to grab publicity. That wasn't you trying to start anything. That was more just your reaction to Thurman, and you're dead set on staying at 135, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not my goal is not at 147 right now. My plans are not to jump up to 147 for my next fight. My goals are to remain at 135 and become the main top number one fighter in lightweight division. But if we were actually seriously considering a move up to 147 against Thurman and it was a real proposal, I'd consider it. I definitely would consider it, and if it made sense, I would probably take it.
So are you saying, real quick, let me get a follow-up. So you're saying that when you move up to 140 and when you eventually move up to 147, you're not going to be wasting any time with getting used to the division type fights. You're going right after the monsters right away?
Well, I think I've been doing boxing, long enough that I don't need to be getting adjusted to anything. I mean, I just got to go in there and do what I do best. That's it. I mean,
well said.
You take on easy guys and take easy fights. I mean, that doesn't do anything for your career, for your legacy. You gotta, be willing to fight the best and step in the ring with big world champions to be able to make a name for yourself, and that's what we need to do.
Mikey, Matt, the producer of the Boxing Voice, we know that you were named the mandatory to the emeritus champ of Jorge Linares, but he just had a 12-round fight. Robert Easter Jr. does not have a fight lined up. Is that a potential route for you to unify first before going after Jorge Linares, or are you going to wait for Jorge Linares to heal up and then take that fight?
No, right now the main interest is a fight with Jorge Linares. He had a great performance last week, and if we can secure that fight, that's the fight that interests me the most. And the fans also call for that fight. I mean, you saw his last performance, and it was a great performance. So I think that's the most important fight at the lightweight division. But there's other champions like Robert Easter Jr., and you got Flanagan fighting Petrov next week. So if we cannot get Linares in time, then I'm going to look at other champions also. Easter being one of them. He mentioned that he wants to fight everybody. Well, if it makes sense and the networks want to pick it up, we can definitely discuss that.
Now, Mikey, it seems like the networks are pointing in the direction of Linares and yourself. I mean, they had you on the telecast, and I just want to applaud you on doing a great job speaking on the fight and commentating. But they had you there, and they kept letting us, the public, know that this is what should be next. Do you still feel that this is what should be next?
I think we're the top two guys in the division. His last performance, like I said, is a wonderful performance. My last fight was, I think, one of the best knockouts that you're gonna see in the year. You've already seen me in the past in previous fights. You know what I can do. We know what he can do. You have Robert Easter Jr., newly crowned champion, so I think you can still expect a lot more from him. But he's still a bit of unknown to the major networks or to the major, big fans. So he might need a fight or two to create that big buzz. He might need one marquee name or fight to be able to pull on that center of attention. But Linares is there, and I'm there. I think that's the fight that's most interesting to be made right now.
Now, Mikey, you've never, ever backed down from challenges. You've always wanted fighters. And I personally think that's what the whole Top Rank dispute was about, is taking control of your career and getting these fights. But the fact that you had this layoff, the way that you're talking now, the fact that you not called out Thurman, but you spoke of Thurman in a fight with him. Is there a sense of urgency from you right now because of all that time taken off? Or are you not even worried about that and you're just going through the motions?
It's not any urgency. It's just that it's what I want. I mean, I want to fight the guys that people think I'm going to lose to. The fights that people, think I may not have a chance. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. If I can be given those opportunities, I'm going to take them. If I can unify titles in one division, if I can move up in divisions, and those are the challenges that I really want. I'm not here to take on easy fights. I mean, I could rack up a 5-6 title defense against nobody, but that really doesn't do anything. I could be champion, looking for vacant titles and here and there, and jumping up in divisions. I could become 4 or 5 division champion, winning vacant titles against nobody. That doesn't do anything. The fans won't recognize me and treat me as a world champion. They'll just see you as a regular fighter. But you got to beat a champion. You got to take on the challenges in order to leave a standing name in boxing.
Mikey, Matt, I have a two-part question for you. One, what are your feelings on the WBC and the WBA enacting Nevada program? And the second part is, do you think the WBO and the IBF should enact a similar program and follow suit?
Well, the WBC with the drug testing and the weight control, I mean, they're moving forward in a direction that I think helps the sport and cleans it up and helps the fighters also. IBF has their guidelines. WBO, I haven't seen a whole lot from WBO yet, but I think it's just an evolution. It's evolving. The sport has changed a lot in the last 15, 20 years that I remember. It's changed a lot more in the last 40, 50 years from the days that my dad remembers. So it's evolving. It's always changing. And it's always moving towards a good, cleaner, healthier, environment for the fighters and for everybody in the sport.
Now, Mikey, you brought up earlier Robert Easter Jr., possibly a unification, and him saying how, he wouldn't mind. But what about the logistics of that fight? You've been out of the ring for some time, so you haven't really been able to make a mark in terms of a place you can call your home, right? Like what does Mikey Garcia consider his home, and how would you negotiate for the fight to be on your territory when Easter has proven to sell so many tickets in Toledo, Ohio?
Well, let me see him come over to, Nevada, LA, and see what he can do as far as sales. I mean, you can do great at hometown, but, does that do well for the ratings for a TV network? Is that something that a network really needs? You got to do well outside your home, not just at home. And I've done ratings, in multiple cities. I've done, before my layoff, I had 1 million plus ratings with Lopez. I had 1 million ratings with, Martinez, with Burgos, with Toledo. And so I've done these in different cities, New York, Texas. There's no miss. Now, if the network decides to put a fight together with me and Easter, if it makes sense for the network and for me and Easter, then we could definitely do that. I wouldn't mind going over to someone's territory either if it makes the right sense as far as, getting paid fairly, getting the fair deal, not have, like sometimes, you get the sense of hometown cooking type of situation. So of course not. We don't want that either. I don't expect him to come into Oxnard either, but we could, meet up somewhere else.
Now, Mikey, I really want to get this very clear because first of all, I'm asking this question because in response to what you said, you said that you want to fight the fights that people think that people will beat you. I don't know what podcast you're listening to or what websites you're reading, but I think everybody's got you the favorite in all these fights. You so far have mentioned nothing but top 5 fighters in the lightweight division. So can we have you on record right now that your next fight will be against somebody in the top 5 of your division?
My next fight will have to be against a worthy contender or world champion. Unless a contender or champion is unavailable, I'm going to move down to whoever else is next in line. If Linares' fight cannot get done for this summer, I'm going to go down the list. If fight with, let's say, Petrov or Flanagan, the winner of next fight, next week, if we cannot get that, we go down the list. Maybe Robert Easter Jr. is next. Maybe, X guy is next. I don't know who's going to be my next opponent. But I definitely want to fight another world champion or another top contender who's well deserving of a fight.
Mikey, what are your thoughts on the Terence Crawford Felix Diaz fight?
Well, I don't really know Diaz. I know he was actually working out with my brother for a couple of months, but I never seen him. I heard he's got great skills from what my brother said. And Robert thinks that it could be a good fight for Crawford because Diaz has, speed and skills. But, I know Terence is a great fighter, and he's got tremendous skills, and he can switch things up for you. He can be right-handed southpaw, and he can, be aggressive. He can be defensive. He can box. He's got the whole package.
Mikey, I want to ask you, obviously on this show, we speak a lot of the ins and out as well as breaking down the fights, but you've been in a peculiar situation that we could only get your, I guess, side of the story, right? You've been with a big name promoter like Bob Arum, someone who the world thinks does it right. And now you're kind of mingling with Al Heyman. Have you officially signed to Al? Is it still just you moonlighting? But how does it feel to be in this position now where you're kind of in control?
I think it's the best position to be at. I'm very happy to be where I'm at. I can, look at options. I can, weigh my options, pros and cons to every fight, to every situation. And I can dictate where I want to take my career. If one fight is available and we pursue a certain fight with one promoter, and then the next one might be a separate promoter, I'm in just a very good place, and that's why I'm actually happier. After this last fight, I won my title, but I was in a happier place this time than I was before when I won my first or second world title. This one meant more because it's just a sense of relief. I'm in charge. You can't get any better.
Mikey, speaking of Top Rank,
hold on a minute, Mark. So, but you didn't make clear if you're not officially with Al, because I know in the beginning it was just like we're just weighing out the options. But has anything been solidified between you and Heyman Boxing or Heyman LLC? Or
no, we just have a good relationship going on right now, forming a good relationship along with Showtime and Heyman. Richard has also shown a lot of interest and good support. Just a couple of weeks ago, we met with my brother and Golden Boy and people at Golden Boy. I'm like I said, I'm free to look at and see what's available and look at other options. And that's just wonderful because if the Heyman presents me something, I can definitely entertain that. If Golden Boy presents me something, terrific, I can also look at that. If whoever wants to do business with me can do business with me.
Mikey, there was this perceived notion in the media and even amongst the fans that because of the fallout with Top Rank, that there was never going to be a fight with Mikey Garcia under a Top Rank banner ever again. But you recently gave an interview that you had gotten a phone call from someone at Top Rank and that the communication, the lines were open. Do you First of all, how did that conversation go? How did that go about? And is the air cleared between you and Top Rank? Is there room for you to do a fight, not just on your side, but on their side as well?
With Crawford specifically?
Well, the the conversation was because my brother has fighters still working with Top Rank, and they just asked, what am I doing? How is Mikey doing? We have good, relationship with some of the guys at Top Rank, and my brother mentioned, he's fine. He's still doing it on his own. But what do you guys have something in mind? My brother asked if they had something in mind, and Top Rank representative told my brother, well, of course. I mean, he's a great fighter. We would love to have an opportunity and maybe work in the future with him, or sometime this year if it's possible. So that just showed me that they're willing to work, and I'm willing to work with anybody as long as it's a fair deal. It has to be fair. At the end of the day, us as fighters are the ones stepping in the ring, and we need to be informed of what's generated, what kind of numbers are we looking at, and it just has to make sense for us.
Now, Ness brings up an interesting point. He did say Crawford, and personally, I don't think that fight is ready. The way that I see it is Mikey Garcia was Top Rank's future. And then you decided to go on your own, which obviously I think was a very smart decision. We've seen success from Cotto, Mosley, Floyd. So obviously it was a smart decision. But then Crawford comes along right when you start to leave, and he becomes the new Mikey Garcia in a sense where he's the future of Top Rank. Do you think that fight is inevitable because of that link? And does it have to be a pay-per-view? Is it a super fight in your opinion? Is that the biggest fight on your horizon?
I think we need to build it up a little bit and promote it well. But I think that could be a huge fight with Terence in the near future. I just don't know that it's ready to be done right now, this moment. And not to saying that we're not ready on my side. I mean, we're ready to step in the ring with anybody. But the reason why I'm saying we might not be ready is financially. You mentioned pay-per-view, but he did one pay-per-view and numbers were not great. So Top Rank might want to promote him a little bit more, get him some certain names so that when we do face each other, it'll be a huge event. You also have to remember this is a business, and the promoters want to make sure that their fighters get paid and that the company makes money. So we would step in the ring with each other any day. I'm sure he'll say yes, and I'll say yes. But is it the right moment financially? That's what you got to also look at.
The sport is heavily Mexican dominated, and we know that. And you mentioned his pay-per-view did flop. Would you got to be the A side in that fight, right? You'd have to be.
I mean that just depends on who's promoting it, and it's just there's other factors that fall into play. If I move up to 140 right now, he'd probably be considered A side because he's the reigning champion at 140. Although I've won titles in 3 divisions, he's done it in 2. He's unified titles there at 140. I haven't even moved up to 140. So there's a lot of things you got to look at. But if you go by numbers, by ratings, then that might, shift it. I don't know what his last couple of showings, ratings were. I don't know. I know what I was doing when I was headlining there. It all shifts and changes just according to the ratings. That's really what dominates and dictates who's A side, B side.
Mikey, my last question, and I want to thank you and obviously Lauren for setting this up, getting us this opportunity to interview, speak with a world champion here on our airwaves in front of all these listeners. We truly appreciate it. You had some interesting things to say about Lomachenko. Now, I know that sometimes, things could get lost in translation and in those quotes, but you can tell us your version of what you might have said and might not have said, but really, are you trying to entice him into a fight at 135? Do you think that's a good fight for you right now? Like if Linares and all those guys there, but if Lomachenko looks good, here in 2 weeks, is he an option for you? Because you basically said like you've done everything that he's done. He's getting credit for beating the guys you beat. So, I mean, no better way than showing the world that he's not good or as good as you than by beating him, right? Because I know I'm long-winded, but it almost sounds like, remember when Gamboa was with Top Rank and so was Juan Manuel Lopez, and then Lopez would fight the guy, then Gamboa would come right behind and fight the same guy and do it in better fashion. But in this, it's kind of opposite, right? Like you fought those guys before Lomachenko and did it in better fashion.
Look, with Lomachenko, honestly, he's a great fighter. He's got great skills. He's been improving a lot from his first fight, as a pro, and second fight with Salido, and he's just improving every single fight. But, I mean, they praise him a lot right now because that's their fighter, that's top-ranked fighter, HBO's fighter right now. And he throws one combination, and all of a sudden it's something they've never seen before. Or he beat Martinez, and oh my God, it's the one guy who beat Martinez. I mean, he didn't beat Toledo. I beat Martinez. I knocked him out. Yeah, he dropped me with a flash knockdown. Okay, so what? I got up and knocked the hell out of him. I dropped him. So, body shot. He comes over 2 years later and knocks him out also. But all of a sudden he does it in a better fashion. That doesn't mean he's a better fighter than I am or that I'm a better fighter than he is. The only way to find out is if we actually step in the ring together. But he's still at 130. If he moves up to 135, then we would definitely consider a fight with him. Until then, there's really not a whole lot to be, calling out for. If I call him up and let's say he does decide to move up and fights me and I beat him, what are the people going to say? Oh, well, you fought a smaller guy. Lomachenko's too small for Mikey. Mikey's a big guy. So you're never going to really satisfy everybody, And unless he moves up to 135, then we could definitely talk about that. But it obviously would be a great fight as far as styles go and talent. He does have great skills. I have skills. It would be a very good fight.
Great answer, Mikey. I would love for Lomachenko to hear this because he seems like a very brave guy. Everyone that calls him out, like, he's even truthful. He doesn't feel Gervonta Davis is ready for him. And, when asked about the Pacquiao, he gave a specific weight as high as he can go. So hopefully that's in your future. That would be a big fight, if not a super fight. Mikey, thank you again for all the time. Thank you for answering our questions. Thank you for being such a great champion. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. If you have any social media, please give it out this time so that our listeners that aren't following you can do so.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate all the love and support, man, and to all the fans and my supporters. I thank you very much. We're back. We're here. Best is yet to come. Everybody can follow me if they don't already. Team Mikey Garcia for Instagram, Mikey Garcia for Twitter, and Team Mikey Garcia on the Facebook. So,
Mikey, real quick.
I follow.
Let me ask you, where do you get your merchandise? Where can fans get that merchandise? I saw you wearing that snapback Team Mikey Garcia hat with it was like it looked like almost like that Levi's logo. It was, man, it's so dope. I really liked it. It was an interview I think you gave. I can't remember, but where's your merchandise at? Just so fans can know, because you got some really nice stuff.
Well, we got a few places to get merchandise, and most of it is always going to be posted online through the Instagram, and we'll send the links. But TeamMikeyGarcia.net is a website. We have merchandise there. Some of the other merchandise is through Lifestyle MX that Instagram page. And now also at T-shirts by Rainbow, she has a couple of items, also sweatshirts and hoodies and T-shirts also on sale.
Awesome.
So those are also Instagram pages that you can look up.
Great, awesome. Yeah, I'll check them out too, man, because I really like some of that gear that I saw you wearing. So again, thank you for all the time. Thank you for being so candid, Mikey. We appreciate the time.
You're welcome, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Well, there you have it, Mikey Garcia, lightweight champion. He's such a really great blend of being humble and confident. Like he was real about it. He gave Crawford his just due. Honestly, I thought I was setting him up to call himself the A side, and he gave a really good answer. Here's where he needs to understand. I think that if he were to clear out the lightweight division, or even just beat the two best guys like Linares and or Easter or Flanagan or somebody, I think this could be one of those things where it's the 135 best versus the 140 best. And I don't know if you really would have an A side, a true A side.
I like the Lomachenko fight. I like the little rivalry. I think that could be built up. It would be beautiful to watch him beat Lomachenko. Like, I think Jim Lampley will have like an overload on HBO, right? Because he's always loved Mikey, but now he's like trained to talk up Lomachenko. And like Mikey said, he's a big dude. I mean, they'd probably ask Mikey to do a catchweight, but Mikey said something about Easter or just whoever needing probably to be built up, even Crawford not being a big enough fight. And I don't know, him versus Lomachenko, he's probably the B side in that, because of the writers. Even though I would pick him as the favorite with the size. But how big of a fight is it, right? Like, he's just been back with that one explosive knockout, but is that enough to jump right into a pay-per-view?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's not the ace. I mean, this is a Hispanic-driven market. I mean, look, if we're talking international level, then yeah, I guess Lomachenko would be the ace side. But Mikey Garcia's got California behind him. That's a huge, huge demographic. I think that alone probably makes him the A side in this fight.
And plus the second biggest media capital in the world in LA.
Exactly.
It's not New York, but it's still LA. That means something.
Oh, it means a lot in boxing for sure. And sports world in general.
The good thing is they could do that fight in New York City or in LA, and it should be able to do well.
Yeah.
I think that's his best. I mean, the Linares fight, yeah, that's good, but he's such a favorite in that fight. Like, I know Linares looked good, but please,
he looked great. I don't know.
Not great enough to stop Mikey from punching him in the. Come on, Mikey's.
I'm gonna tell you, Linares has a great style. I'll tell you what. Fine, you're right in terms of super fight, but we all know how difficult super fights are to make. I think Linares is the biggest, most realistic fight. If that makes sense, like it's the most realistic fight that can happen, and it's the biggest in my opinion.
Bugging. Who knows Linares? Listen, and let's not even kid ourselves. Before the Corolla wins, no one was talking Linares.
Well, yeah, he had to come back from. I mean, look, it was a bad hole that he dug for himself.
Okay, but who is Corolla though? Like, his biggest win is Dolly Perez.
Yeah, but who is Robert Easter Jr. in that sense? You even said it yourself that it was one of those things where he was a hometown guy.
I don't know, man. I'm saying styles, right? I think that Lomachenko presents angles and activity. His disadvantage obviously would be size. I just think that Mikey is a clear favorite over Linares. And since we're talking styles, right, he's the counterpuncher. Linares' skin doesn't hold up. He had another cut in this last fight again. He's small, which that was evident in the last two fights with Anthony Corolla. He's small. He's thin. Not that he's short. He's thin. He was way thinner than Anthony. And look how little he would be versus Mikey. I don't know. I'm going to go out to these phone lines. Let's get the world's take on the interview and which direction they feel our listeners, our callers, feel that Mikey should go. International callers, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype and
Ness, can I get my final thoughts on the interview? Because I really didn't get to get him because I was out doing something. I just think that Mikey, like we've always said, I think before the interview started, that he's very candid, that he's always very truthful. Like I didn't feel like he was really giving us a PR manufactured answer with any of his responses. To be honest, I think it's just the reality of his situation, that he has he has a ton of options, and they're all really good options too. Like none of them are bad fights. And I feel like we're probably going to get that Linares Mikey fight either in Vegas and LA. That's what I'm getting the sense of. But we can go to the callers.
I mean, it seems like the fight, because of the telecast, you know, him being there.
The network push for it means more than anything. Because Mikey said very specifically, I have a good relationship with Showtime.
Yeah.
And Showtime put him in that position on the telecast, you know, in the suit next to everyone talking about it for a reason. And if he has a good relationship, they're going to work together for that fight.
That was my question, right? That was I led with that. I said, look, they had you on there. You did well, but this is the direction that they're pushing. And he's like, you know, yeah, that's what we would want. But he's like, if we don't get that, then we'll get, you know, whatever's next. But listen, let's open up these phone lines.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
We're going with 30-second phone lines. Brad, what'd you think of that interview?
Hey, how's it going? It was a great interview. You asked whenever I first called what 805 is. That's Oxnard. My wife is born and raised in Oxnard, and those guys know what they do whenever they get in the ring. That's for sure. And what I think about the Linares thing is probably the best bet. And we obviously know he isn't moving down. He has no interest in it. And the Crawford match would be great. But I think if he wants to leave his mark, that he should do it.
Yeah, we're going to do 45. 30 might be too short.
Okay, you want to go back to Brad and give him 15 seconds then?
Oh, I didn't even. Damn, you're hot on the trigger. I didn't even know you took him off already. Whoa.
Cut it? You didn't hear the cut it? Come on.
I heard that. I ain't hear but I ain't hear the man, I didn't see you turn him off. Brad, 15 more seconds. Go. It's getting crazy in here.
I think if he really wants to leave his mark, that he needs to do something like the Thurman fight and work out the kinks to make that happen, or even possibly look to fight Adrian Broner and introduce himself to him. Cut it.
Listen, you see, when you force someone to go at 45 seconds, they bring out the best in themselves.
I like that Broner.
I like both of those options. You know what? Look, I'm going to go back to the Thurman thing. Like, he kind of left it out there, like, basically, if the offer's big enough. But I think he needs to be the one pushing it. This has been the year of daring to be great. And the Martyr, you know, not only making a great fucking check, but being able to live from a loss, being able to come back with the fandom after a loss. You know, Amir Khan, Kell Brook were successful in that. If Mikey can move up to Thurman and attempt to be great and fail, I don't think that the public would hate him. But I love anybody versus Broner is always a good fight for me. I don't think he's gonna go the Mikey option though. I mean, you know, Mikey is just elite level training. It would be all types of problems for
a high risk, low reward fight for Broner, but it's a really low risk, high reward fight for Garcia.
I don't know. You think, listen, people know Broner so well. So, like, when he's in a big fight, when he's in a serious fight, they come out, man.
Yeah,
and Mikey's a serious fight. So I think that would be big. Listen, let's go to New Jersey. 45 seconds.
Yo, TBV, #1 podcast. Dig this. Mikey Garcia interview was excellent. I think he should probably take the fight with Linares and give Lomachenko some time to get himself ready. Maybe Lomachenko fights Russell for a rematch. Maybe he does the Salido rematch. but he gets himself ready to move up. If he don't move up after Garcia finished with Linares, then he don't want that work. And Garcia's got the belts and shit waiting for somebody to come get him. That's my call.
All right, I mean, I like that. Let's get to listen, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we will be back at 7 p.m. We're just doing we're like all over it today. There's a lot of stuff happening.
I told y'all a long time ago, the Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Right hand. Strap me up. Who's next? I got milk, baby.
Yeah, I'm back for round 2. So check it. This is what Mikey needs to do. He needs to go up to 140. He needs to get AB in the ring. And they can promote it as the sacrifice. That will be the end of AB's career. And I'm out.
Well, that's 2 people for the Broner, right? Or is that 3?
That was 2.
Brad, wasn't it Brad? I mean, Milkman, or am I just
never really made a point on it? I believe.
Am I just hoping? I like Broner. I like Broner. I want him in a big fight. I believe that Broner can perform. Whoa,
Larry, what are you doing? Come on.
It's windy in San Francisco. Listen, I believe that Broner can give us another Maidana performance, even in losing. That's okay. That's okay.
The thing with Broner is that he can, using a pro wrestling term, he can put over people. So
Yes.
if you beat him, you can become big for someone.
Yes, this is what Mikey needs. Mikey needs this to cross over. Larry in windy San Francisco, you ready? Ready, Eddie Spaghetti.
No, come back to me.
Jeez. Oh my God. I hope you're okay. Sounds like there's a tornado going on.
Might get blown away, man. I don't know how big Larry is.
Next time we go to his phone, it's just gonna be laying in the grass somewhere. Marcus in Washington, D.C., talk to us.
Man, Larry in trouble talking about come back, boy. He gonna be dead on that phone. Nestor ain't coming back. Look, man, listen, everybody know 135 is not no glory division. You like that one, didn't you, Nestor? The 135 ain't going to the glory division. Both Mosley and Adrian Broner hurry up and got out of there. He was dominant at 35. Garcia can make his mark at 140. There's Broner, there's Crawford, there's Ndongo. There's a couple of people that are there that I think have more name recognition with the casual fans. Situated at 140, if he still feel like he won't go to 47 and get Thurman, I still see him as the favorite in that fight. Mikey Garcia is an elite level A-side dog. Every trainer has their A-side dude. Mikey and Robert are that connection, man. Better watch out. That's my call.
Marcus, thank you for calling in, brother. We appreciate your participation in the show. And if you appreciate the show, you appreciate this world-class interview with an elite WBC champion, hit that thumbs up button. Doesn't matter if it's the future, present, or past. The thumbs up is always going to help with the visibility of the show, and we truly appreciate it around here. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can drop us a 5-star review on iTunes, because that also helps with the visibility of the show. We're going to get out to 516. Are you a first-time caller, or is the producer dropping the ball? I got my finger on the trigger. Just let me know. First-time caller, or you called in?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
516. Who's this? First-time caller?
Yeah. It's Mars from Queens.
I am not copying that. Matt, you got that?
Mars?
Yeah, Mars from Queens.
Mars from Queens. Like M-A-R-S, right? From Queens.
Like the planet.
Like the planet.
Yeah, M-A-R-C. Like the planet, you heard?
All right. Mars, so talk to us, brother. You heard that interview with Mikey Garcia or what?
Yeah, I just heard the interview. I liked it.
Wait. Hold on. Let me stop you. We totally went off track here. Are you a first-time caller, though?
Yeah.
How long have you been
I've
listening?
been listening for a while, though.
All right, so you know the
I've been
tradition.
listening for like 4 years.
Damn! Damn, now that's what you see? No, I'm glad we stopped you, bro. We got to give you the first time caller intro. You got to properly introduce yourself. And like, you know, you gotta come on, bro. You like family. 4 years, shit. We got to start making shirts that say, I've been listening for X amount of years, bro. That's a good idea. I got to talk to Cash Mash. All right, you ready? Here goes the introduction. Get set, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Coming out straight from Southside, Jamaica, Queens. It's your boy Mars. 4 years listener, you heard? 178. Light heavyweight. You heard that?
Yo, that Jamaica Queens, that 50 Cent, home of 50 Cent. So what's going on, Mars? Talk to us, man.
Yes,
Mikey
sir.
Garcia was on the show. We
Yes,
got
sir.
some good stuff out of him. What did you think?
I like that interview, man. I mean, it was a good interview. Honestly, I feel like he could even fight Ramses Bartholomew at 140.
That's a good fight. But Ramses doesn't bring anything to the table.
Yeah.
He's trying to be great. He doesn't want just a tune-up. Like, not to say he's a tune-up, but he doesn't just want a regular interim fight. He wants to be great. He wants it to go down in history. So if he's going to move up, I'm sure he wants something a little tastier than that.
In that case, then, he got to fight Adrian Broner.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want.
That's a good fight.
Honestly, I feel like that's a good fight for both of them, because if Adrian Broner wins, they're going to be like, damn, he just beat, Mikey Garcia. So if Mikey Garcia wins, they're going to be like, yeah, he just beat Adrian Broner. So, yeah, that's a 50-50 fight. I'm kind of leaning towards more of Mikey Garcia, but, yeah.
Well, all right, Mars. Hey, you already know, 4 years listening. You know we'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Let's head out to James. What's going on from all around strong in D.C.? Talk to us.
TBD, what's good, y'all? Look, man, it was a real good interview. I've always been a fan of Mikey Garcia. I do think, in regards to who he should fight or who I would like to see him fight, I think that Robert Easter Jr. fight is the better fight. I do think the Adrian Broner fight is the bigger fight. But I say, man, fight E-Bunny, man. Fight E-Bunny. If you're going to leave 135 anyway, they probably both leave eventually. But Mikey might leave a little earlier. Go ahead and let E-Bunny try to get that belt, man, so we can rack him up when we clean out 135. And that's my call, man.
All right, James. Man, I want the Broner fight. I don't want no. Everyone's calling, and I hope Mikey and the publicists are still listening, Matt. I want the Broner fight. It sounds like the fight that he needs to take him over the top. Showtime is in the Broner business. They're in the Broner business. What do you think it's going to take to make that fight? Broner knows the danger, but let's be clear.
Money.
No. It doesn't take that much money. I'm gonna give you, what to use as gauges, right? He got 1.25 for Paulie. He got I think 1.5 for Porter. So he fought Maidana. That one I do not know, but you can probably find it, right? So now we need to equate the level of danger between Porter, Maidana, and then factor in Mikey in there. It sounds like it's doable. Like, first of all, there's guys that hate on Broner, but he's not afraid. He's not afraid. He's never been afraid to fight anybody, and he did fucking great. And we owe actually Chad Hogan a on-demand on Broner Maidana that we will be doing, and it will be released to the public. Film study on Broner Maidana, and this is probably the right time now that we're talking Broner and maybe a little Mikey Garcia. I don't know, man. It sounds like a great fight for me. You guys don't think? Am I dreaming there?
No, I think it's a big fight. It's a good fight, but they're going to what, like a $3 or $4 million purse? Like, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be quite a bit of money that they're going to have to give. Both guys are going to make over $1 million in that fight at least.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Mario. How more popular or less popular is Mikey Garcia right now than Sean Porter when Adrian Broner fought him June 2015? Because the reason I'm asking you is, again, the money is right on par. It's not a $4 million fight like this guy's saying. They're going to split maybe $3 million, maybe 2.7 million between the two. to get this fight done on Showtime or CBS, you know, and again, the level of danger is right there. So like, is Mikey not more popular or just as popular as Sean Porter? Like, why would Broner say no?
I would say that Mikey Garcia is at this point more popular than Sean Porter was before he fought Adrian Broner. And not only that, I would say that Broner has even more incentive to say yes, because for Sean Porter, it would have taken a huge win over guys like Thurman or Brook, or maybe not Spence, but it would have taken a huge win against a top 3 opponent, something that then he wouldn't have even needed Broner. For Mikey Garcia, his ceiling is much higher. So it's one of those things where not only does he get more from it now, but it even benefits him in the long run as Mikey becomes a bigger star, in my opinion, because it goes down as you know, something much bigger later. With Sean Porter, he lost to Thurman. You know, what does that do for Broner and that loss? Like, what does it mean even more for him? It means that people think he has no chance at 147. Like he should never go there. You know what I'm saying? Versus Mikey Garcia, however, Mike Garcia keeps winning and winning. The loss doesn't hurt him as bad in terms of, you know, fan perception.
I like this fight. I hope they're listening. I just got a text saying, hey, send me a link. I hope they go on the playback, because this is the one you need to ask Al for. Like, Linares does what for the popularity? I mean, it is another belt, and that's what he's looking for.
You're crazy. You're crazy. That's a great fight. Like, I agree. It's not a Broner fight, but what is? You know, you're talking about the upper echelon of popularity in boxing. I mean, the top 1%.
No,
is where Broner lands. But Linares is a great fight.
If he goes out there and beats Linares, we're gonna be talking about that when he's done and retired.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But if he goes out there and beats Broner, it makes it easier to get a Crawford fight, a Lomachenko fight, a Pacquiao fight.
Right.
It opens him up to a bigger market. But listen,
it does more for him commercially. You're
we're
right.
opening up the show. Let's get out to these people, because we got to come back with our flagship at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you're watching this now on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get out to 849.
We forgot about
which
Larry.
looks who?
We forgot about Larry.
Larry.
Marcus was right. We forgot about you, Larry. I apologize.
No, but I know you looking out for me though, so it's all gravy. That's that connection that you and I have, and much appreciated. Okay with the music though. Hey, but so first of all, fantastic interview. Enjoyed that almost as much as the Al Bernstein interview. But hey, fellas, what was the overwhelming takeaway from that interview right there? And I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna answer my own question. When Mikey was talking about Terence Crawford, Thurman, Robert Easter, Linares, pure professional, no emotion, all respect. When y'all brought up Lomachenko, all of a sudden the salty and the sodium began to rise a little bit. That's the fight we need to see. Mikey had some feelings about that, and I got the remedy for him. When Mikey goes 396-1, when Mikey wins 2 gold medals, when Mikey wins 2 world championships in his first 8 fights, then they'll talk about his combinations a bit more, like they're talking about Lomachenko.
Cut it. Damn, no love from your own, you know, like California. California, 516. First time caller. Oh no, we went to him already. 849. First time caller.
90 seconds.
Hello, yeah, hello.
Yes, first time caller. 849.
Yeah, sure. I'm calling from the Dominican Republic. I've been here for your show for about 2 years.
Damn.
I'm from Scotland too.
Man, you got a smile on my face. I'm Dominican. This is awesome. So you've been listening for 2 years. How did you find
you're
us?
Dominican. I knew that because your Asian is like Dominican. I wasn't sure about it, but so I said, hey, I said
60 seconds.
So how'd you find us?
On the internet, you know, I'm a fan of boxing. I practice in my college. I practice in amateur boxing. License was a child with my father, and I always follow boxing, and the choice is the best one. I really enjoy it.
Oh, man, that's awesome. All right, so you know the tradition. We're going to go ahead and play this first-time caller intro. And since you're an amateur boxer, you got to give us your real ring name and how you be walking out when you're going to win this Golden Gloves. And then go into this call and tell us what you thought of this Mikey Garcia interview. Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Hello. I'm just Nelson.
10 seconds.
Nelson from
Dominican.
But you're in DR. Wait, you're in DR right now? You're calling from la República Dominicana ahora mismo?
Yeah. I'm calling from Santo Domingo. Yeah, I'm calling from DR.
But okay, you got a magic jack or something?
No, from my phone. My plan. I can go anywhere.
Oh, so the minutes, it doesn't matter?
For me, at least, no. I have a plan of them.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. Man, that's amazing. So, yo, put that down. You are the first caller to call in ever from the Dominican Republic. You know, oh my God, I just was looking at something. Let me see if I can find it.
That makes me so proud. I'm glad. I'm the first one.
Yeah, really, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I got something in here. I don't know if I'm gonna find it in time.
We're gonna have a fighter from our country fighting against Crawford, which is Felix Diaz.
Yes, Felix Diaz.
I don't know where when, but it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Crawford should win easily, but Diaz is a warrior. He can do a very good fight.
Felix Diaz is amazing. One of the best boxers in the game.
Yeah, that's
I think he's kind of underrated. Yeah, for me, he's a kind of underrated.
Overrated.
But he's amazing. No, I think he's underrated by the media.
No, he's definitely underrated. I agree.
Yeah, he's super underrated.
That he's a gold medalist, gold Olympic medalist. He's a very good technique boxer. He's fast. He has some power. And he can make a fight for any champion in the place. Hey!
Yeah, what you know about that? Look at Dr. Mofongo.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dr. Mofongo in the chat.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. I like Mofongo. I like Mango, Mofongo.
Oh, man. So what's up? What do you think about Mikey Garcia?
And, you know, whatever. Mikey Garcia is a great fighter. I think that he's been avoiding some fights. I don't know why, because he's been maybe off of the ring because for so much time. But it's time for him to take the fights down, the big fights. I think before he fight Crawford or that man Broner, he should fight Porter first, because I'm pretty sure that he can beat Porter. And if he beats Porter, he's gonna have more attention and more media attention when he fights Broner, and he also can earn some more money.
Well, all right. What did you say your name was?
Nelson.
Second, sir.
Nelson.
Oh, my name Nelson.
So ¿de qué parte de Santo Domingo?
La capital, viejo, aquí en Santo Domingo.
Ah, está bien.
Bueno. Son de la Alma Rosa, son orientales.
Ok. Bueno, gracias por llamar.
So,
hasta la próxima.
One more thing, bro.
Dale.
One more thing. Whenever you come here, I want to know what you're coming, so we can make it. We'll be so glad to know you, to meet you in person. So whenever you come here, please let me know. I don't know if you have some Instagram, on Facebook or Twitter, anything, so I can follow you and we can communicate.
Definitely, brother. Definitely. Hey, Matt, you got this down, right?
Oh yeah, I got it.
All right, Nelson. My social media is NesGTO, and I'm definitely trying to be in DR this year. But Jamaica's first. Let's go out to our Boomerang and our TBV Unification main eventee Canadian Jose, who's going to be taking on BoxingMD in Orlando, Florida, the home of Erickson Lubin.
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain cold, Norway. Shorty wants that foreplay. I'm like, no way. Gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it. OJ, getting cheese like Green Bay. Call me Aaron Rodgers.
Boys, what up? You guys just hit. You guys just hit on a subject of mine that's very favorite, man. You guys talked about Broner. I would love to see Broner fight Mikey Garcia. I think Broner ends up knocking him out, man. And I'm really, really excited about the fact that you guys are going to do the behind the angles with the with Broner Maidana. It's a fight that a lot of people don't give credit to Broner for, man. I just implore you guys to rewatch that fight. And I promise you, Broner was like a minute away, a round away, no doubt, to knocking Maidana out. And there's interviews of Maidana saying that Broner hit him harder than anybody else has ever fought, man. So keep that in mind, guys. I know everyone likes to shit on Broner, but it's the truth, man. He's gonna do it.
I don't know, Jose. That's crazy.
Jose, call in though, because I want to talk about TBV Border Wars. So call back in because you're boomerang, so you can do that.
C9 Sea Dog from the Bay. Sea Dog.
Yo, what's up, man?
What up? What up?
What's good? I'm gonna say it 2 times. Fuck Mikey Garcia.
Whoa.
Fuck this motherfucker. Man, he's all talk. He's been in the media for days now, and I don't want to hear about him unless he got a fight. He got a big fight coming up. That's my call.
Oh man, there's no love. I believe the dude, I really do, but he basically said on our airwaves that he is putting everybody on blast. Like if Linares doesn't fight, it's because this is kind of what he said. It's going to be because of Linares. If he can't get that one, he's going down to the next one, Petrov, Flanagan. And if he can't get that one, it's going to be because of them. So we'll see.
You're right, Mario. He did make it seem that way. But in every topic that we brought up, he said, as long as it makes sense, which means as long as the money's good.
Prize fighter, baby.
We're not privy to that. But my final thoughts are, Mikey, thank you. Thank you for coming on TBV and, revealing the facts. A lot of headlines out there. And look, he said it. Look. A guy stuck a camera in my face, so it's not like he wants any parts of Thurman. But like I said, I'll reiterate it again. This is the year of daring to be great, or was the year, right? Whenever Kell Brook and all those other guys tried to do it and they got credit for it, Mikey can dare to be great and go up with Thurman and do a big fight. I think it would be big because whenever, right, any other time a small guy moves up, everyone glorifies it and makes it a big media thing. So why would it be any different? Mikey would be one guy. He would be just like Kell Brook. He would get the same amount of attention because Kell Brook was a skill guy moving up. This is another skill guy moving up. But if you're not going to go after the big fish in Keith Thurman, I want that Adrian Broner fight. AB bout billions. Give it to me. Garcia, AB, NEST. I messed up my own Twitter handle, but it's NestGTL on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me at Maury Munguia on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter and my MMA podcast and Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, etc. Peace.
If you haven't seen the Dominican version of Muhammad Ali, go on over to Patreon.
I got the perfect soundbite for that shit.
Yeah, haters. You could listen. All you got to do is go to Patreon and check out Matt sparring, and then go to Patreon and check out me sparring, and see whose face looks like it's been through the ringer. Actually, Matt was sparring with someone that's similar looking to Mikey Garcia. But
literally looks like him, just like a skinnier, taller Mikey Garcia.
Yeah. But you gotta go on Patreon for that. Listen, man, we're out. Thanks again. See you at